Hey guys, RemanX here. I want to thank you guys for your support for the last couple of videos. Thank you again for all the kind comments, stopping by the stream, and helping shape the stream and the documents into something that you guys all support. So again, thank you for subscribing, liking my videos, and helping me continue my career as a content creator. But this month, we're going to get right into October's top 10 characters, and we're going to talk a little bit about the tier list that we provided for you and the criterion that we've used to help you decide what the characters and how they actually fit into this. So, number one, we evaluated them in Arena, Raid, War, Blitz, and if they were a DD3 character. You'll see over to the side of over here, we have a key. This key will tell you why they earn these points. And if you guys disagree with these or you guys want to support and help out, stop by the stream. We often do this during the downtime between the patches. So we get an update in this, and we'll do this probably more periodically throughout the month because some of these have shifted because of ISOs, which is why we're revisiting them right about now. I do expect that this may change as we get our hands on anti-venom down the road here. So first things first, Ebony Maw. Now, Ebony Maw being the #1 character in the game probably doesn't surprise a lot of people. He is double locked behind a legendary and a very, very hard to acquire team. Hela is still in some of the most difficult nodes to farm. So not only do you have to farm that, you have to get the Inhumans. So him being the #1 character shouldn't surprise anyone. Now that he's working fully on his team, he clearly takes that, and he does benefit from ISOs as a skirmisher, marking targets and potentially removing buffs. This makes him probably even more dangerous in every mode that he's in. So Emma Frost, and Emma Frost moves up the ranks there. She was previously just a little bit outside of the top 3. And Emma Frost has probably, nobody is surprised, has really excelled with either Striker or Healer or even Fortifier, if you guys want to play around with that. But she definitely is a character that seemed to be designed for ISOs. I personally like her as Striker, and she is doing amazing things in Alliance War. I'm sure you guys may have watched a team fail that you thought was going to beat them, and Emma Frost remain as the sole survivor, and having to take a full team in there again just to counter her makes her such a dynamo. She's also now featured in some of the most important raid teams. She's the unofficial 5th symbiote for a lot of you folks. Her mind control on the last node is clutch, and she just has a lot of overall survivability. She helps me get to the Ronin node daily, so she is phenomenal in every category. She's also can be used as part of that 3-piece to counter Black Order, Strife, Sinister, and herself. And they can pretty much bring any other 2 characters and actually win against Black Order. Black Bolt, so he probably is still absolutely worthy of the legendary title, but he winds up tied with Symbiote Spider-Man and Thanos. So they're kind of tied in this category. We're going to address all of them. Black Bolt still appears in a lot of the intermediate arena metas. He still can beat Black Order as part of a component to it. And more importantly, he's still vital in raids if you don't have the full symbiote team. In War, he is devastating. He can still beat quite a few teams, even though he's probably still delegated to be your Hydra killer if you don't have Baron Zemo. That being said, auto on Blitz with Striker, he is probably the penultimate Striker recommendation because of what he does on the team. So he was super enhanced by it because that ISO secondary attack at level 5 is a 250 damage buff flip if it's slow target or buff removal. So very, very important, very, very powerful character. And so I love him to death. So DD3, he probably, if he was more viable there and wasn't part of, had fallen off because of the fact that his passive doesn't trigger from either Minerva or Maw, he probably would be higher on the DD3 chart and thus a higher character, but still one of the most devastating blaster in the game, not named Ultron. Symbiote Spider-Man. So I think there may be some shift on here, especially if we see them probably beat Black Order, but the problem is you're going to need a whole team. If they can beat Black Order on Arena, the symbiotes will probably move up entirely through these ranks. But right now they are doing some amazing things and countering quite a few teams. I know quite a few people have reported that they can beat every team except for Black Order currently in war. And to no surprise, it's maybe just plugging in another character for plug and play. But they are obviously devastating as Guardians now, devastating some other top tier teams, including Marauders. So a team not to be joked around with, and more importantly, absolutely exciting with the addition of Anti-Venom coming down the road. Thanos. So we evaluated Thanos kind of both as the raid component Thanos and the empowered Thanos. And so the problem is it really couldn't just differentiate between the two, although that might be something we have to do in evaluation down for ISOs, because if you're using them for raid, maybe there's two different categories. I really hope not if you have to bring them level 5 and then unlock that with the 50,000 ions, which it's a lot more to go through the different tiers. That being said, he is a phenomenal character. He has been enhanced by the ISOs to a degree that as a raider, he is just devastating with his ult and his abilities just to do crazy things when you start marking targets. Phoenix should be no surprise. Phoenix is legendary in her own regard. And you guys know what she does in DD3 as probably one of the most essential characters you will need to get through there. I'm going to let that one stand on its own because she really didn't get a benefit from ISO. But the whole X-Men team probably fell off a little bit because they don't get as much of a benefit from ISO as other teams. There are some key ones on there, and we'll probably do that in the team list over here. So Cole was kind of a shock for a lot of people, and I think Cole wound up over here because of the fact that he just is a strong character overall. Especially when you start seeing him at high star, high red star, his damage value is no joke. So he is an essential member of the Black Order. He is just so powerful on his own. He's a decent pick in PvP, even though we didn't evaluate it that way, which means that he has some power creep stats that make that even if we drop them down in the DD3, it wouldn't take him that far out of the top 10. So he is just a stat machine, a stat monster, and scales so incredibly well that it should be no surprise that adding ISOs to him make him incredibly better. Hela is another character that will probably not leave this top for some time. Her ult ability, her ability to spread those debuffs, the Greg in his own should probably have his own category here. He is that good when it comes to managing the enemy's speed bar. That is something that you guys, I think, will always leave him in the top, probably third. Even as time progresses, she will always be in top consideration because of just everything she can do. Small tweaks to that kit, small benefits, and even if you were to break up Asgard, she's going to wind up as a floater character. So I know there's been some talk about doing so as people shift Thor to Avengers, but for the most part, we've evaluated them as Asgard. So still a team to be reckoned with, still a force on her own. So surprise here, probably for others, is that Proxima Midnight is actually in the top over here. So she winds up pretty much ahead of Yo-Yo based on the fact that she is a arena character. Because she featured in her arena team, by default, she's getting that 10 score. She drops off a little bit in raid, but the offense down, her speed overall, she just is devastating and is probably a good pickup on the second run for your Cosmic team and even your starter nodes. If you guys take a look, I'm still on a couple of the leaderboards through DD3 where I featured Proxima as a one of my units on there. You'll see Colossus, Mr. Sinister, and Yo-Yo are all tied for that 10th spot. Now, you guys may get a hint out of there, so they're all tied. Colossus, just essential DD3 pick, probably the basis for the war team. I don't think you could have an X-Men team without the Colossus Phoenix combo. And Mr. Sinister probably fell down on this list quite a bit because of the fact that his clone doesn't get the same benefits from ISO. So while still a very, very strong character, he just doesn't benefit from ISO in the same way that other characters are. So he slipped in just a little bit of regard. Still a DD3 secondary pick for to assist Phoenix on her way through there. in the raid scenarios. We've seen other teams surpass him in the raid team, so he does have the Strife Emma combo that he can play around with, but still not top 5. So he's probably dropped a little bit. And Yo-Yo, and the thing about Yo-Yo is I think she solidified her place in here with not only what she can do in arena paired with Black Bolt, but the fact that she is probably just a war machine, not the actual war machine, but a war machine. She helps you pluck those abilities off. She slows down the enemy team. That offense down is actually helps you overcome if you're behind in the barracks and warrior. But more importantly, she is the most essential raid character ever because of the fact that she can neutralize those early attacks with the offense down. So U7.5 would probably be a nightmare without Yo-Yo. And we're not even sure that the symbiotes fully loaded are going to be able to take some of that early damage and the retaliatory damage that'll happen without Yo-Yo on the team. So I know a lot of people, including myself, have theorized that even Yo-Yo might still stick on that team, even as we add a 5th symbiote. We'll have to see if we can do it. We're going to definitely take them through that and go through there. So real quick overview, guys. Ebony Maw, number 1. Emma Frost, Black Bolt, 2 and 3. Symbiote Spider-Man, number 4. Thanos, number 5. Phoenix, number 6. Cole Obsidian, number 7. Hela, number 8. Proxima Midnight, number 9. And tied for the 10th spot are Colossus, Mr. Sinister, and Yo-Yo. And again, guys, take a look at this list. It's a labor of love for you guys in the community. I may even take my name off and call the community tier list. You guys are welcome to give feedback in the comments over here. Love to hear from you guys. And again, signing off. Remember, I do things so you guys don't have to. I'll sign off again with this. Don't level 5 ISOs. We still have a lot more testing to do. Let me be your guinea pig. Love you guys very much. I'll check you guys in the next video.